Hello there, today we're going to be going over several of the viruses that have been in the Resident Evil series already, and we're going to be going over what viruses specifically could be affecting Resident Evil 7's plot. Now I do actually believe there are two main viruses being used here, and they could be a plethora more, so I'll go through that, and I'll also try to debunk anything that I think is invalid. So I hope you enjoy this video because this one's going to be an analysis slash theory again, so I hope you do enjoy that. And if you did enjoy the video, please remember to leave a like and a subscribe. It's a lot of support you can show, and if the channel can grow as fast as it can, that would mean a lot to me personally. It takes a lot of effort to make these videos consistently, so I would appreciate any support you can give. So let's get right into the juicy parts anyway and get into the theory in the video itself. Okay, so first I'm going to be taking a look at the creature revealed in the recent Shadow trailer. Now this creature is quite interesting. It actually has various traits from several different creatures in the Resident Evil franchise, as well as it seems to have attributes from several different viruses. So if you guys remember looking at the creature, it basically resembled a few creatures in the series. We have things such as the Regenerator, the Bloodshot, the Iron Maiden, and even a few more creatures after that. Now the viruses that affect each of these creatures is different. They use the progenitor virus as a base, however they're all vastly different viruses, so it is quite likely that the similarity exists just for an artistic representation point of view. You know, you can either say the artists are lazy or they like the design specifically, but I think that's more from an art perspective really than a lore perspective. And if you want the evidence for why I actually believe this, I'll go through this slowly. Now first off, if you take a close look at any of the Regenerators, you'll notice they have glowing orange eyes. Now that is quite a staple for them. However, the creature we saw was lacking any such distinguishing feature. Even when we had it close up, we couldn't see anything like that. So it's highly unlikely it's the Regenerator. We also have the long claws, which it's missing, as well as the tendrils. I don't think it's the Iron Maiden for obvious reasons. The actual teeth that go on for the Iron Maiden are in a different design, as well as the spikes are coming out, and also the claws were not as long as we saw. It was more like a tyrant's, to be honest. The Bloodshot is the closest thing we actually have to it. The parts that aren't covered in this tendril armor are the same flesh colored as well as the same teeth design. However, again, it has normal hands instead of claws. So yeah, that's the evidence as to why I don't believe it's an alternative of these creatures. It's just probably an artist design to bring something that was scary to previous fans of the series. It's been in various games in various forms, so it'll be recognizable to a lot of people as a zombie across the franchise. And it's also not something that's small like a dog or something that's universal across the franchise. That would just be kind of lame to have shown after all this waiting. But yeah, anyway, artist perception in my opinion, and you can have your own perception based on that evidence there. But I just want to debunk a few of the viruses and things anyway. So first off, we have the tendrils all over the armor, which a few other theorists have speculated. Now they've said that this might be the Ouroboros virus. Now I want to thoroughly debunk this because this is actually very, very unlikely, almost guaranteed not to be the case. So if you guys remember the Ouroboros virus, there are two things about it. First off is there's two stages of trigger. So if you basically succeed at taking the injection and your genes are compatible with it, you get the same traits that Wesker got. He basically got enhanced strength, agility, perception, speed, the ability to do Matrix level stuff basically. He was Neo. Now if you actually fail the injection, you basically mutate very rapidly as the virus basically just eats you from the inside, and you rapidly grow tendrils and mutations and also large ball-like pustules that are very glowy, like they're very bright and orange, and these serve as the weak points. The other part about the virus is that it's very aggressive, so basically the tentacles that are grown are all very mobile and moving, if you remember that. And the creatures are just all over the place. They're constantly aggressive, with the tentacles also reflecting that. Now the armor on this thing seemed very stationary, and it didn't have any of the pustules, as well as it had an inner muscle exposed to it, and teeth as well, which is not exactly related to the Ouroboros virus at all. Now one might think that it does have some relation to the Ouroboros virus with the creature's tendrils, as well as the Bakers also having the regeneration capability. That sounds like the failed virus with the tendrils growing and stuff, and also if you have the correct genetics, the succeeded virus where you get regeneration and enhanced agility and stuff. But I'll address the second part now, which is the other traits on a successful experiment. Now, going back to Albert Wesker, we basically have him becoming a superhuman, as I said, like Neo, and you can see this in the video in the background as well. The Bakers definitely do not have any of these at all. They're not affected in any way, but I do believe the progenitor virus is a base, and it's been enhanced in a similar way to the Ouroboros and also to the prototype virus, but it looks like we've got simpler forms of both. Another key thing to note about the Ouroboros virus specifically is it's weak to fire, and Jack isn't weak to fire, so that might point a hole in this theory, but if it's a different version, although the traits might be weaker in it, that also might have inhibited the weakness to the fire itself as well. And this might explain why Jack is able to recover after being completely melded basically. There is one more key trait to the Ouroboros virus when a subject has failed to properly adapt to the virus. Their size is enhanced by a tremendous amount, a ridiculously large amount, and their length is extended, their tallness, their height, everything just goes up by a mile. The creature we saw in the game wasn't really that large, and also the Ouroboros virus is injected where this was actually seeming to grow from some kind of mold on the wall. So I think the Ouroboros virus has been thoroughly debunked. However, I do believe it's an alternate form, as if somebody's either researched the Ouroboros virus, or if someone somehow had knowledge of the Ouroboros virus and came to some kind of similar experiments, or just stumbled upon it through blind luck. Now this is kind of hinting at some kind of umbrella or some other organization having an influence on this, and that kind of refers back to the screenshot in the beginning hour demo of the Umbrella helicopter, because developing such an advanced virus requires an extremely advanced workload, a lab, researchers, etc. It's not something that a simple person can do or that can occur by accident. There are a few reasons why I do think it's a variation on the Ouroboros virus, and I'll go through that right now, but remember this could change based on further speculation. So first off, there is multiple viruses at work if you think that this isn't the Ouroboros virus, because basically the creature is very different from the Bakers. The Bakers have retained their sanity. It's almost like the prototype virus, where the brain is not infected with the virus itself, so the conscience of the host is retained. The Ouroboros virus has similar effects to the prototype virus. It gives enhanced agility, strength, and things like that. It makes the pupils slit and also brighten into a red and orange glow. It seems like the virus is almost like a more refined version of the prototype virus, given more enhanced agility and strength and things. It even gives the appearance of glowing eyes and slit pupils. So we have a very good candidate for the virus in the series right now. The only thing is, again, the Bakers do not have glowing eyes, and the slits are missing from their eyes as well. And on top of that, the creature that we saw was not enlarged. The tentacles were not moving, they weren't mobile, and they were not aggressive at all. The creature was actually very slow, to be honest. The other thing is the mold specifically as well, but like I said, it almost seems like the Ouroboros virus has been modified, and now it's spreading through maybe the water and the animals together, and it's starting to develop mold. Maybe it's even starting to infect the mold around the environment, and that's what is on the walls. It's a mold infected with an alternate strain of the Ouroboros virus, but that's definitely where I'm going to be placing my cards at the moment. Now, there very well could still be multiple viruses at work here. I could be completely wrong. Anything could still be possible at all. I don't want anyone jumping to any conclusions here, but I just hope it provides a little bit of an insight, gives you some speculation, and gives you a breather. You know, there's not going to be much Resident Evil content until December, I think. Maybe we'll get a few things here and there, so now I'm going to do some analysis and things on all the content we've got to fill up the days. I'll also be doing some streams of Resident Evil games as well as other things, so I hope you enjoy all the content coming soon. Now, there is some other theories that people have put forth that I want to debunk as well. The idea that it's the Plaga virus seems a little far-fetched. So the Plaga virus isn't a virus, so to speak. It's not literally a virus. It's actually a species of parasitic organisms. They're very social and they work in packs similar to ants. The way the Plaga species worked in Resident Evil 4 was that an artificial version was created which created a dominant Plaga species, and when this was implanted in a host, they could basically control the rest of the infected with no questions asked. They also gain enhanced strength and things like that, which also seems to fit the Bakers. They had regeneration too. However, the key difference here is they were still infected with a parasite species. Mutations occur occurred spontaneously when you shot at them or when you caused massive damage. They would mutate grotesquely into various different forms. I'm sure people who have actually played the games would remember that. Whereas Jack Baker hasn't shown to have any mutations, and when Lucas's arm cut off, no parasitic mutations occurred at all. This is directly tied to the regeneration of the Plaga virus, and I can understand why some people would probably think the Plaga virus might be related because of the mind controlling capabilities and the Bakers having a cult and such, but I think if you would have actually just played the games and looked at that, you could have kind of just disputed it, used some common sense, and concluded that it's probably not the case. There is other viruses with much closer similarity. Another thing to really put out there again was that the Plaga came from a species that was implanted into you. The Bakers was trying to feed us some infected flesh, it seems, so it doesn't really align up at all. But yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. For now, I might go more into this topic as it would take a few videos to go fully in depth over all the viruses. To be honest, I just think an altered strain of the Ouroboros is the best candidate. Although there are various different traits, as I said, the orange glowy eyes aren't there, you know, the superhuman agility and stuff isn't there. It feels like an altered primitive strain of the Ouroboros virus. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and a subscribe. It would mean a hell of a lot to me. It would really help boost the channel and help it grow, and I hope you can become a part of the community and the Avid army anyway. That would be totally awesome. I'm gonna clock it off here now, so I hope you're enjoying the day. I hope you're having a beautiful time. Take it easy as always. Take care and peace.